Yeah. Would you mind giving me like an example of like an actual conversation that a strategy based agent would ask rather than a product first agent? Like how would they either lead or just, just like ask a question
Sure.
to, get the conversation started on the right path?
So I think the first thing I would suggest is, in the most emphatic way I can state, stop product pivots. I mean, that's
Mm.
my business advice to the agent, meaning stop encouraging your people to pivot to products. And in place of that, I think you want to engage in what I call linking and framing. And this is a concept that I teach to my client agents, which is, how do you connect what you're already doing to broaden that conversation? Or how do you pre-frame a conversation or reframe a conversation in a way that the client is now open and receptive? So I'll try and give you a couple of examples. I didn't know you were going to ask the question, so I'll have to do this off the top of my head a little bit.
Perfect.
So,
That's how
for
we like it.
example, let's just say that either through the old fashioned fax machine or through the email, you get a binder request, right? So somebody needs a binder on their home. And traditionally, people would take care of the binder and say, oh, by the way, which, immediately flags the client that here it comes, here comes the product pitch. Oh, by the way, I noticed we haven't talked to you about your life insurance, but maybe we should have a conversation about that. And then all the objections come up. Well, instead, what I suggest people do is have the client feel as though what you're about to say is part of your normal everyday process as part of protecting that home. So something along the lines of, Christopher, whenever I speak with a client about protecting their home, I always make sure to talk to them about their foreclosure prevention plan. So that in the event their income were stopped, interrupted, there are alternative sources of money to continue making those mortgage payments so that you don't lose your house, put your credit at risk, and potentially be in the scenario where you would be homeless. And so Bradley is our foreclosure prevention specialist. And what I like to do is set a time for the two of you to get together so he can make sure that never happens to you. So that would be a completely non-product based conversation, basically linking together the role of, quote, protecting the house, because we know the house can be taken away in one of three ways, right? It can be destroyed by fire or some natural disaster. You could be sued and be put in a position to have to access your home equity by selling the house to satisfy the judgment against you. Or you could have an income interruption that would prevent you from making your mortgage payments. And after a few of those, the bank says, we'll take the house back. Thank you very much. And so you're not really doing the full job if you don't protect people from all three. But what I see a lot of agencies do is, when they get to kind of that third area, I like to talk about it in terms of risks. They shift it to a product, like you need life insurance, or you need disability insurance, or you need this. And the client needs to really understand what's at risk before they're willing to really solve the problem. And I want to make sure we don't miss cycling back to objection handling. But that's kind of where I would suggest people go, is how do you connect what you're already doing to expand the discussion, but without bringing up a product, but more expand the nature of discussing and exposing people to the risks that they face.